Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I am your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and I am here in my main office in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I've been practicing immigration law, specializing in immigration law for about 12 years. I've been practicing law for over 20 years. Um, So I help individuals and families from anywhere in the country, any state, and really anywhere on the planet. So I'm here every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or Detroit time to answer your immigration questions. So if you're joining me tonight, welcome on this St. Patrick's Day edition of Immigration Live with Lee. So, welcome everyone. And again, if you have questions, please make sure that you post them in the comment section. And you can post the questions anytime. You just have to type in your questions and put them on in there. Okay. So, welcome everyone. And please stand by. Sometimes we have glitches, and I'm seeing that we have a slight delay in the feed right now, but I'm still here. I'm still going to answer your immigration questions. So please type your questions in the chat, please. Patty, hi, how are you, Patty? Joining us from YouTube. Where else are you joining us from? Where is your YouTube? So where do you live is the big question. I always like to ask people when they join this session to tell me where they're from or where they're joining us from, okay? Because we're from all parts of the planet, but where are you joining us today? Connecticut. That is a state that I still have yet to visit. So thank you for joining us from Connecticut. I appreciate it very much. And Patty, if you have any questions, don't forget to post them in the comment section. There's a lot going on with immigration. There usually is, right? Usually immigration is very complicated with politics. There's tons of stuff in the news right now, tons of stuff that is happening with the Trump administration. So if you guys have questions about things you've seen, post it in the chat here so I can get to you. If I can't answer the question tonight, I'll try to answer it in other ways, such as recording videos. If you've been to my YouTube channel, you've seen that I've got 550 more or less. So I've got lots of questions, okay? Lots of questions that people are constantly asking me, like the travel ban. Got people asking me about the travel ban. Is this really a thing? Is this happening yet again? And I'm seeing the news that the Trump administration is putting out that this is happening. They haven't released yet when it's going to go in effect, but there's 3 different categories of countries that have no restrictions to medium restrictions to complete restrictions. Okay. So the government is absolutely doing that. So if you have questions about that, you can let me know. But basically, it's very similar to what it was last year. I'm sorry, last administration. There's certain types of countries that we have historically had problems with, meaning the United States, or who have had problems with the United States, I should say. And those are the types of countries that the Trump administration is putting some sort of travel bans in place. I don't know when those travel bans will be put in place, but there's a whole list of these countries that are going to be restricted. Okay. So if you have questions, let me know. I can read what those are, but until it actually happens, it's just kind of theoretical. But you can do a Google search and Trump travel ban 2025. If you look that up, you will definitely see what he's doing for the travel bans. Okay. Okay. Before I get carried away with the travel ban stuff, Let me see what kind of questions we have. And I see if you're joining me on Instagram, could you real quick type in the comment and tell me whether my video is messed up or not? If it's messed up, say yes. If it's not, say no. That would help me a great deal, okay? Because I might have to reboot my Instagram. But in the meantime, I can continue and answer questions. And the questions I'm seeing right now, this is Green Grapes. I am a U.S. citizen. Do I need to carry proof of citizenship? So this question has been coming up a ton, right? It's, do I always have to have proof of it, regardless of my citizenship status? Excellent question. And here's what I tell people, okay? I'm telling people that if you're a US citizen, you don't have to do anything. But is it smart to do it? It might be, okay? Because if you think that there's a chance that you're going to get harassed by immigration, it'd be better to have something on your person that shows that you're a US citizen, right? Because it might be distasteful if it were to happen, but wouldn't you rather pull out proof of your citizenship status than have immigration hassle you? It makes me sick to think that we have to justify to the United States government that we are citizens. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I sure would like to have that proof just in case I'm hassled. You don't have to, right? Because you can tell the government agent to go pound sand. That's a very nice way of saying, get away from me and don't talk to me, okay? You absolutely can do that. That is your right as a US citizen. That is not your right as an immigrant. Whether it's a green card holder or a tourist, you do not have that right. And if you're here without legal status, you absolutely do not have that right. You are required by law to provide proof of your status unless you're a US citizen. Do it if you want to as a US citizen, but do it because you have to as anyone else, okay? Just play it safe, have the stuff with you just in case. And again, politics are funny. Things have a way of settling. So dust settles after a certain period of time. I hope it's a lot quicker, but you never know. So I'd rather be safe than sorry, okay? So that's my advice on that. My advice might change depending on what happens in the next coming weeks, okay? So let's see here. I'm looking again. Okay, you're good. Thank you, Godson, who says that my video is good on Instagram. Appreciate it very much because it's still frozen on my end, but I don't care as long as it's not frozen on your end, okay? So Godson says, are green cards approved at the National Benefits Center, which is NBC, or just at the field office? They are approved at any place that you can imagine. National Benefits Center, yes, they do approve certain types of green cards. It depends if you need an interview or not. The field offices are the ones who conduct the interviews, okay? So if your case requires an interview with your sponsor, that's going to be at your local field office, okay? So passport card, yes, Green Grapes. Carry your passport or passport card. That is proof of your citizenship status. And again, I hate telling people to even do that. It sickens me to think that we have to justify to the federal government who we are as US citizens. But again, it's up to you if you want to do it or not. That is how you would do it. You have your passport with you and you would show them, hey, back off, man. Here's my passport. I'm a US citizen. Get away from me now because you're the government and I have rights that protect me from you, the government. Okay. So again, it can get complicated, but that's the basic advice. If you carry proof of that, if you get some ICE agent that happens to come up to you, for example, if you happen to be Hispanic, right? And again, why do I say Hispanic? I'm not picking on Hispanic people, but this is the advice I gave my wife, who's from Colombia, South America, AKA she's Hispanic. I tell her the same thing. Has she done it now or not? I don't know. Okay. But I've given her that advice to say, hey, be safe or not. It's up to you. You're a citizen. Okay. So, as a Hispanic American, again, the last administration, this crazy border crisis stuff, who are the people that probably are going to be sought after more than most? Probably Hispanic Americans. Okay. I don't like it. I hate it, but play it safe. Keep it with you just in case. It'll piss you off, but it'll make you feel a lot better if you are pulled over by ICE to say, hey, back off. Here's my passport. Get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Okay. So that's my advice for that. Let's see here. So a lot of people on Instagram, thank you for joining me on Instagram. And I'm glad my video is coming through to you. I got people, Green Grapes is in Pennsylvania. Thank you for that, Green Grapes, and verifying my video. Godson, I'm sorry, verified that from Georgia. Thank you for joining us from Georgia. Okay. So again, type your questions in the comments so I can get to them. I'm going to go over to my YouTube channel where I have a ton of people joining me. And they've asked questions, and I'm going to get back over here to answer some of these questions. Patty from Connecticut asks if I have any updates on TPS. I noticed that he revoked it for the Haitian community. What does it mean for folks who have this? So TPS, I know Venezuela, TPS no longer exists for Venezuela, or at least it will be phased out. So the government says we're no longer recognizing TPS status for Venezuela. If that's true for Haiti now, it's going to be true for a number of different countries until it's not true. What do I mean by that? What I mean is Trump is probably the president more than any other president in history that has been sued the most by people that are very upset with his policies. Okay. That's not going to change because Trump is continuing to do things that piss people off, right? So when people's rights they feel are being violated by the federal government, they sue the federal government. And that's a very good thing. That's what we want because we want the government accountable to the law. So even if TPS is removed for you and your country, doesn't mean it's going to be permanent, doesn't mean anything until it finally goes through and all the lawsuits are settled. So what I mean is be patient. And I counsel people to be patient, and I always have, more so now than ever, because Trump does things that he thinks is best for the country. Not everyone agrees with him. Lots of people disagree with him, and they challenge the heck out of the guy, okay? So I tell people, don't freak out because politics runs very slowly, okay? The government, the dinosaur of bureaucracy runs very slow. So even if Trump, with all the power he has, says something, doesn't mean it's going to stick. So don't freak out. If you're here without legal status and you are detained or approached by ICE, you've got reason to worry, okay? Because that is a more immediate problem that you can't really challenge if you don't have legal status necessarily. And again, I say this tongue in cheek, meaning it's not an absolute truth because anyone inside the United States is protected by the Constitution. So even if you're here with no legal status, you still have constitutional rights, okay? What I'm saying is it takes a while for that stuff to phase through. So don't freak out. Don't avoid going to the grocery store or going to the hospital. That's what happened in the first Trump administration. People they didn't leave the house because they're paranoid and petrified that something was going to happen to them. Don't necessarily think that that's going to happen. Take a measured approach to life, be smart, but it's not necessarily the end of your situation, okay? The end of your world. So I'm going to keep going on to other questions. Okay, so here's a question from Armando. I've got my 10-year green card. I got it in January. I had a DUI 18 years ago. Immigration knows about it. Can I travel outside the US? Would immigration give me a hard time in customs coming back? So, Armando, the question or the answer is yes. Yes, you can travel. And yes, they probably will give you a hard time. So check out since you're joining us from YouTube, check out my YouTube channel because I did a video a week ago, a week and a half ago that talked about this. Okay, because leaving the country and coming back, there's things you could do, smart things you can do to make sure that you are protected. Check out that video. It's a really good video. I'm very happy with the content, and a lot of people are saying very good things about that video. So check it out because the answer to your question is more in depth in there. But yes, you can leave. And yes, you can expect to be given a hard time, but you just prepare for it, okay? Okay, let me hear for people like Armando who might have additional questions about these sorts of things. I'm going to post this link where you can book a time to talk directly to me. Phone, Zoom, that's how you do it. So here's the link. So if you need to talk to me about this very important stuff, don't mess around with it. Schedule time, talk to me so I can answer your question more directly. That way you're safer, okay? So check it out. You can also see at the bottom of the screen here, I've got my phone number there. I got my office web address. You can reach out to me in any way you want, but that link is a good way to actually schedule time to talk to me, okay? So go ahead and do that whenever you need to. Armando joined us from Chicago. Love Chicago. Almost went there last weekend, but I had something come up that I couldn't go. But so thank you, Armando. Reach out to me if you have questions. Okay, that link will definitely get you to talk to me the quickest. Okay, and thank you for confirming that you can see and hear me. That there's no problems with the YouTube or Instagram. So thank you for that. Okay, we've got another question here. This is from Lucky One, who I don't know if you're Irish. That's awesome if you are on St. Patty's Day joining us, Lucky One. You applied for a joint bank account before your husband got his green card. Teller said we signed attesting to being a U.S. citizen. We withdrew our application immediately after she told us this, but still had gone through the system enough to generate a refusal letter. Wow, man. Will this be a problem with his N-400? Do we tick the box that says claim to be U.S. citizen? Lucky One, that is a stinking important question. I think you need to click the link where we talk directly to one another so I can get the full scoop of what you're saying here. I get what you're implying here. I would like to know more of the facts because I've never heard of an application and a refusal letter. I don't know. So I would certainly like to talk more to you about that because this is not one that you want to test your luck on, right? Absolutely do not, because claiming false claim of U.S. citizenship, besides killing somebody or drugs, it is one of the most serious crimes under immigration law today. So you don't want to mess around with that one, okay? So reach out to me. We can talk about that, okay? Okay. Here's a question. This is a very long. It's your girl. Yeah, okay, you get it. I'm about to apply for citizenship, but I have a misdemeanor. What should I do? My green card will expire next year. I'm so worried. So here's what I say to that. Again, the link that I posted is a good post to talk to me directly because not all misdemeanors are the same, right? They're very different depending on what the misdemeanor is. It could be nothing or it could be a big problem. So when people have questions like this, I always tell them you got to book that time to talk to me because I'd like to review some of your information to give you actual good advice instead of just some random comment on something that I don't know all the facts for. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm going to go down here. Let's see here. Crystal O'Brien, another one of our Irish friends. So happy St. Patrick's Day to Crystal. Is it safe to travel in the U.S. from state to state by plane for someone with a pending marriage green card case who was previously out of status before filing the case last year? I tell people, don't mess with it, right? Wait until you're actually fully protected and you know that, okay? Because traveling, real ID, all that stuff, I think it went into effect. And if you don't have an enhanced driver's license or a real ID, it can be risky. So once you get your marriage-based green card approval, then you have what you need in order to move forward and get those credentials, because it's not worth screwing around. We're talking about airplanes, buses, cars, trains. Those are things that you don't have to worry about. Air travel is always very, very special, very significant, in part because of 9/11, right? Because of people traveling potentially without legal status. The government previously had a problem with that because there's a bunch of terrorists that jump on airplanes and bomb the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a couple other places. So that is why they're a lot more strict about air travel. So I wouldn't risk it until you actually have your protection, okay? Mr. Caddy, I know him as Mark. You're in Costa Rica. I hope you're enjoying your time in Costa Rica, and I hope your wife is doing well. So thank you for joining us, as you always do, or you typically do every Monday. So thank you. Glad to see you joining us again. Okay. I'm gonna go down I'm gonna have to go back over to Instagram pretty quick because I have a bunch of people there. Crystal, is it safe to travel in the U.S.? Okay, I just answered that. Sorry to repeat it, folks. Okay. Yolande, I know you join us a lot, so hello. When you say good night, I think you mean good evening. When I say good night, I was looking to see if you hung up and you're done. So good evening to you, Yolande, and thank you for joining us, because I know you join us most weeks. So thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to do this question, then I'm going to go over to my Instagram channel. Conditional green card holder, emotionally abused and manipulated by my U.S. citizen wife because of my reaction to her rudeness to me. She filed an order of protection against me in family court. That is bad. And going through a divorce now. Can I still remove conditions? So I posted the link up there. You need to book a time to talk to me because I've helped people with this exact situation. Yeah, I've helped people with this situation, and the answer is yes, it is possible. Everything is fact dependent. So depending on exactly what happened in your situation, it is still going to be possible, but you're going to want to do it the right way. So book the time to talk to me so I can help you with this. It's way too important to not do right. Okay. So I recommend that. Okay. What do we have? I'm going to go over to Instagram quick here, folks. Again, tons of people on Instagram. Thank you for joining us from Instagram. Okay. So I have somebody, can a visitor visa be adjusted to student visa during that 6-month stay of the visitor visa? So is it possible to change your student visa, visitor visa to student visa? It is possible. I have done it in the past. So if you need help with that, the link that I posted is how you contact me for help with that. It's a bit technical, but it is possible. Okay. Okay. So that link, look above in the chat because I have that link up there for you to book a time to talk to me about this, and I would like to help you with that. They usually do it. Things have been a little bit goofy. It's a little bit goofy. Everything's a bit goofy, which is why you don't want to mess around with it. So if you need help, you book your time to talk to me, and I will help you with that. Okay. Um, so here's a question from Yolande. Is it wise to apply for a visitor visa while waiting on the National Visa Center to contact you? I think it's wise. Yeah. I don't think it's unwise. There's no reason why you can't legally do that. It will not have a negative impact on your ongoing consular processing, National Visa Center process. So you absolutely can do that. If you need help with that, you know how to reach me. I've posted the link above so we can help you with that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Elna is joining us from Montana. Um, Hello, Elna, and thank you for joining us yet again this week. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Okay, here's a question from Edgar. Could you please explain how vented help with immigration cases? Um, Edgar, I'm not sure what that means. What do you mean by vented? You mean like it's hot and you're venting something? Or do you mean vetted? If so, I don't know what vetted is as far as immigration cases. So give me a little bit more information or the link that I put above. You can reach me directly so I can find out more about your case because I'm not familiar with that phrase, but I would like to figure it out for you if I can. Okay. So let's see here. So, yeah, Edgar. Yeah, okay. So it's the same question twice from Edgar, and I don't know what vented means. Okay, I'm going back over to Instagram to see if there's any recent questions. And then I had some questions from earlier today on my YouTube channel. And I marked them so that I could get to them quickly. Okay, so here's a question. And these are one of the questions I wanted to find here was related to our Canadian neighbors. Let me see if I can find that question here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, can you please tell me if Canadians need to be registered since we've never needed to register before coming to the US? And this is in response to my video, the alien registration requirement that came out not too long ago. So if you're in the United States beyond your authorized stay, that is when the alien registration requirement kicks in. So by entering the United States with your special status as a Canadian, they do record your entry. My understanding of this is that if you stay beyond that time, that is when you have to go online and register. Okay. So even if you're Canadian, you're probably going to have to do that if if you're out of status. That is the key. They want you to register if you are out of status. Okay. Okay. So here's a question again from my YouTube channel. I used Rapid Visa. I don't recommend that. That didn't come from me. That came from Jeremy. They sent ours to the California Center. Basically, Rapid Visa filed this wrong for this guy, and he was trying to ask questions about it. It's really tough when you don't do things properly. It creates all sorts of problems. And I know that, you know, that's happened to a lot of people in a Rapid Visa, or I forget what the other one is. But you got to be darn careful with those guys because they put the burden on you. Well, that's great if you know what you're doing, but most people don't know what they're doing. So if you need that link that I posted above, please, anyone who's got concerns about their process, how to file it, how to do it the right way, you need to book a time to talk to me so it's done right, so you're not worried about getting deported by the Trump administration, okay? Okay, I'm going to find this other question that I had ready before I call a night because I'm already over my time. Okay, here's a question. I'm traveling from India to the United States on a tourist visa for a 15-day trip, okay, to attend a wedding in New York, have a good time in New York. I have a round trip ticket and will be returning to India in 15 days. Do I need to register with the federal authorities when I land in New York? No, you do not. And this is kind of, in a way, a segue or a follow up to the last question about the alien registration. That is not the intent, right? If you have an authorized stay based on a visa, you're allowed to stay up until your stay is no longer authorized. If you stay beyond that, that's when you need to worry. So you don't have to do any special registration at all if you enter based on a visa and you're staying within that time that you're allowed to stay. You don't have to worry about the politics or any of the craziness. So you don't have to worry about that. You are safe, absolutely safe with that. So, okay. So again, I'm past my time, and I do appreciate and thank everyone who's joined us. So thank you, everyone. I'll invite you again next Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Detroit time, to join me again to answer your immigration questions. There's a lot of weird things going on. Don't forget to tune into my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I release a lot of videos that keep people up to speed on a lot of this stuff. So please check out my YouTube channel and join me next week at 8 o'clock. I would love to help you guys figure out this craziness and hopefully keep you safe. Have a wonderful night.